Hello, sports fans. My name is Aaron.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Alexa. And this is Sports Talk Radio with the Brat Pak on KOS 630 p.m. Las Vegas.
We've got sports, coffee, and the occasional crack at some dumbass who said something really stupid.
We hand out the Richard Award to the biggest jag-off of the day.
So stick around after a word from our sponsors because you're not going to want to miss it.
KOS Sports Talk Radio with the Brat Pak is brought to you by Las Vegas alternative rock group Mead Avenue.
Look into your eyes, the universe is magnified. And even as the rust subsides, the fire burns deep down inside.
Good evening, sports fans.
You did it wrong.
And I'm here with Seth.
Hey, you got it right.
He did on the first try, and there was no hesitation.
Where's your clappers?
Oh, where are my clappers?
Well, snooze you lose. We're already rolling.
Ah.
That sucks. Welcome to KOS Sports Talk with the Brat Pak. We have a little bit of a smaller show on the books tonight. Not much going on. But who wants to kick off with the Rams wanting Brett Favre? When we go to break, you can get your clappers.
The Rams are so desperate for a quarterback after Sam Bradford went out with an ACL injury that they've contacted Brett Favre.
I think maybe Jeff Fisher needs to get with Leslie Frazier and ask him how well that works.
I mean, Favre is still in playing shape.
Of course he is.
But he's actually...
Retired?
He's retired.
He's actually retired.
He's re-retired.
Yes, and he said that he has no interest in playing again. Good, because you're 44, you're old, and if playing for Minnesota didn't do anything for you.
It's too bad he didn't do that before he went. That's the one thing I hate the most about players like him, and unfortunately players like Peyton Manning. You spend, well over a decade, in Brett Favre's case, almost two decades, on one team. You build a name, you build a reputation, and then you switch. That's why when Hines retired,
because
he went out black and gold.
Yeah, he wanted to retire as a Steeler, and I absolutely respect that.
I agree.
And Kobe said he is going to be a Laker for life.
Yeah.
I respect players like that.
If you've spent 90% of your career with one team, just retire at the 90% mark instead of trying to go another 10% and then getting dumped on some other team or getting into a position where you're going to damage your legacy by sucking or by having a terrible team around you.
Which is exactly what happened to Favre.
Exactly.
So I commend him for saying, you know what, no, I'm going to pass this time. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, mowing lawns and volunteering his time as a quarterback coach, I think.
I just don't know.
And commercials for Wrangler jeans.
Yes.
I just don't know why he didn't, instead of going to Minnesota, why didn't he just be a coach?
Because that's the player in you. You want to keep playing no matter how old you get.
Yeah, but why can't you pass the knowledge as a player?
Because you want to because your mind tells you, you know what, I still want to play even though your body says you're old. It's the player in you. It's the athlete. I get it. Do I agree with it? I think, no, not really. But, nothing he can do about it now. But it just goes to show you how desperate the Rams are that they're not even considering a gentleman named Tim Tebow. Tebow gets no love. And, I feel bad for the guy because when he was with Denver, he wasn't awful. He was a decent quarterback. And nobody wants him as a quarterback. And it's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'd take Tim Tebow over a lot of quarterbacks.
But, if you're so desperate to go after Brett Favre, why not contact Tim Tebow? What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Especially since Tim Tebow could be a dual-threat quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can get him,
acclimated to your system.
Yeah, or build a system around him.
Like they did in Denver.
That's not that hard to train somebody.
Exactly.
No, it's really...
And he's a young guy. He wants to play. He wants to play as a quarterback in the NFL. This would be a perfect opportunity for him. I mean, literally, St. Louis has nothing to lose.
Exactly. What do they have to lose?
I feel bad for the guy.
Another winning season.
They're already very rapidly approaching.
But I
not
mean,
a winning
at this
season.
point, it's like between them and Minnesota and like Tampa Bay, you're all just embarrassing yourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt when Pittsburgh was on that downhill spiral. It's embarrassing to turn the game on.
Yeah.
And like when you're not even going to go after a capable guy like Tim Tebow, yeah, he's not an elite quarterback, but he'll still get you in the win column if you allow him to.
Yeah.
Well, no love for him. Browns bench Whedon.
Well, the Browns have benched Whedon, who was the quarterback at Oklahoma State, so he kind of has a little bit of love for me. But they decide to start Campbell, making that the 20th Browns quarterback in 14 years.
I'm wondering if anybody has responded to that Craigslist ad.
I was thinking about it. I mean, I could probably do a decent job. I mean, I can make some decent decisions. Just need to learn how to throw a spiral. You got a football? Maybe we'll go practice.
Got tons of
Do we have?
footballs.
The question is that do we have
Tons of footballs.
Uh,
Footballs,
okay, let me
baseballs,
rephrase that. Do you have a
basketball, we got
regulation-size football?
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
what kind of who is this guy?
I got one's hanging up in
Who
my
is this
Steelers
guy?
room,
Well,
which nobody touches.
I was going to say.
And we got a couple others for them. We have college ball. We have
Okay.
little Nerf
Anyway.
balls. We have everything.
Anyway,
I think Browns need
Yeah.
to just be taken out of the league.
Well, I think part of it is the Browns don't stick with one person long enough to either build a system around him or get everybody used to playing with
no,
that
because
guy.
they want instant results. They
Yeah.
want instant
Well, and
satisfaction.
that's one
and
of
that's
the-
not going to work.
that's
No.
one of the organizations that just takes guys that have potential and put them in, and then when they realize that maybe they're not as good as I thought they were, let's move on to the next one.
Exactly. Instead of helping them get to their potential.
Like a guy like Tim Tebow.
There you go. Potential is about what they're going to be like in 4 or 5 years, not what they're going to be like right now. Because with the exception of certain quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, those type of quarterbacks can hop in and throw to anybody. But you get people like Whedon, who is used to Oklahoma State's system. He comes up, sits on the bench a couple years, and then what'd you do?
Did you fucking
break it?
see that?
What'd you do? Break
Did
it?
you fucking see that?
This is on the air.
Woo! That was fun.
Wow.
Okay.
Applause. So, anyways.
I can
Well,
move
this
now.
this also goes into the NFL's quarterback problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there are 32 teams, and there's only about 15 to 20 good quarterbacks, if that.
That's a very high estimate.
yeah.
If that.
Giving a lot of credit there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that. And
You know
it's
what?
like,
This is the chair that Roy slammed in and broke.
Ah.
and
Hi,
you know,
Roy.
it makes you wonder, like, what are you going to do? Because there's no legitimate run team
Yeah.
that even if you have a crappy quarterback, you can run the ball and try to win the game. But if you don't even have a decent quarterback,
Yeah.
you're not going to get yourself in a position to win. And it's like, what are you going to do? There are so many outages at the quarterback position. It's like,
Yep.
what do you, especially if you're a struggling team, what do you do?
Players like him need to go to an organization that will take the time to cater to you and mentor you.
Exactly.
What I mean, and if you're already having a shit season, why not just take the time to work with a guy and get him as your quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Yep.
Well, real quick, we're going to cover the last one. The Texas gives no awards before we go to our first break. So why don't you cover that?
Well, ever since, I'm not even sure when it started, but ever since, I guess, the mid-'90s, everybody started getting participation awards just for showing up and playing in sports leagues and all
Because
this.
nobody can be sad.
Exactly, because nobody can be sad and nobody can be hurt. And you're sitting here, and that's not how America was built. America was built because we wanted to win. We wanted more. And it was because we kept getting dumped on and not having anything.
Well, that's also
And we
not,
covered that on another.
Yeah,
We've
and
covered
we've
that
covered-
several
we've covered
topics,
this several
and
times.
it's also not how life works.
Exactly. So, in a step to reclaim that spirit, the State of Texas Youth Football Organization has decided that they are no longer going to give participation awards, and only the top 3 teams will win anything.
Good, and that's how it should be.
Yeah,
and
it
I
is how it should
commend
be.
them for putting a foot down and saying, no, we're going to do this the right way.
Exactly.
There is a right and
But
wrong
think
way
about
in
it, the same
sports.
thing. That's the same thing when you go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You either get bronze, silver, or gold.
You don't
Yeah.
get participation
You get a medal for showing
medals.
up.
Yeah.
Hey, here you go. Thanks for coming to the Olympics.
Yeah, no.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
You put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the hard work, you're going to get results. If you don't, you get nothing. That's life.
Well, more places should watch Texas for a lot of things, not just that. But we're going to take a real quick break here. When we come back,
I will have my clapper hands.
You'll have your clapper hands. Maybe I'll fix my chair real quick. Merriwether, Jets tip off the refs, and Leslie Frazier. We'll be right back.
KOS Sports Talk Radio with the Brat Pack is brought to you by Las Vegas alternative rock group Mead Avenue.
When I look into your eyes, the universe is magnified. And even as the rust subsides, a fire burns deep down inside. And I feel alive.
Welcome back, guys. A couple of cool things we're going to touch on. I'll see, Alexa, you got your...
Well, I can't really see. It's cool because I think he's a putz and he needs to go. But he's a putz. Brandon Merriwether of the Redskins was suspended 2 games for targeting guys' heads when he goes to tackle them. The suspension was reduced to 1 game. The union had a lot to do with that. Now, my problem is that this guy has a clear disregard for the safety rules. He doesn't give a shit about anybody's safety. And the fact that he was only suspended 2 games and then it was cut in half to 1 game, you're telling him it's okay, we don't care that you're an asshole, it's okay. That's the NFL.
Yeah.
And
See,
it's a joke.
this is a couple things we touched on a couple of shows ago, and players like him are the reason that all those stupid rules that we were bitching about get put into place. Because of assholes like him that have no disregard for player safety. This is what happens.
He's the type of player that the NFL wants to get rid of. But you're not doing any good by only suspending him 2 games and then allowing it to be cut in half to 1.
Yeah.
I mean, players who blatantly do that, who have no respect whatsoever for the other guys, when you do that, they should be suspended multiple games without pay. And then if you do it again, you're suspended indefinitely. It's not hard. You're going to keep having guys like this who do whatever they want to, give them free reign because we're the NFL, we kind of care. That's why we have rules, but we don't really care because we don't punish you.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody is going to get seriously hurt because of players like this. And what's the NFL going to do? Oh, we don't care.
You're going to get somebody can get a concussion they're not going to recover from.
Somebody's going to
Serious
get
brain
paralyzed.
damage. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, you can break spines. You can do all kind of shit with that.
Now, Brandon Marshall of the Bears has said this guy might deserve to be kicked out of the league. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
And Martellus Bennett of the Bears also ripped Merriwether, saying he wanted to punch him in the face. Please, dude, go ahead. I mean, it's sickening.
Yeah,
when
go
you
right ahead and punch
when
him.
you
You're only gonna
don't
get
care
suspended for a game.
when you don't care about somebody's safety,
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. And I mean, how can you go on the field comfortable knowing that there's somebody out there who's targeting me?
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't be comfortable. It's not. I understand football is a
contact
it's a
sport.
contact
It's
sport,
a rough
but
game. But
too many people use that as a crutch to make hits like that.
when you're like legitimately going at guys and targeting their heads, how do you sleep at night? You know what? Karma's a bitch. Oh, go ahead, keep doing it.
She'll get you.
yes.
She
Karma
will
is a
get you.
bitch.
So, the NFL, it's such a joke. I mean, all
It's
these
becoming that way.
It truly is, and the way that it's evolving, it's just going to keep getting more and more laughable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing anything now. What makes us think that you're going to do anything? Oh, we have new rules.
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 All the rules in the world don't mean anything if you don't enforce them.
Exactly.
That's why we have cops.
Yep. Yeah.
Moving on to the Jets and the Patriots game. We talked about this a little bit on the last show. A new report came in that the tattletale Rex Ryan
Rex
Surprise.
Ryan.
actually pulled the refs over a couple of times to make them aware of what the Pats were doing as far as the pushing.
Yes.
And then the Pats got it in overtime. That's when they got called on.
Uh-huh. And now the Pats, I guess, having gone back and looked at the footage, have also found spots where the Jets were doing
Of course, but unlike Rex Ryan, Bill
They're-
Belichick is going to win a football game based on football, not pushing and shoving.
Yes.
You're going to win a game because you're going to see who's tough
Yeah.
and who wants to win, not, oh, let me get this
Oh,
call
yeah.
and let me get the refs on my side. I'm sorry, that's
Well-
not how football. That's not how sports
Well,
work.
Rex Ryan was saying that the coaches go back every single game. They watch every single play over and over. They knew,
Of course they knew.
Of course they knew.
Of course they knew.
but you're a little bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're trying to find any way you can
to win.
to win, and
Yes.
and this is what you've stooped to.
Had it not been for that call, they might not have won that game. And
No.
that was a statement game for New York.
Yeah. And well, more than likely, they wouldn't have won because they would have kicked the field goal, missed it, and then the Pats would
Yeah.
have got the ball.
And then with the ball in Brady's hands,
Yeah.
lights out.
Yeah, exactly.
But not
'Cause
only
all they
that,
have
but-
to do is get in field goal range.
Yeah.
But not only that, they were asking Ryan, and he declined whether to say whether or not he shared that with his players. He said he's going to keep that in house. He told
No
every one of
comment
his
equals guilty.
he told every one of his players before, during, halftime, whatever. Watch for this, and if you get hit, make it noticed.
Like I said,
That takes me back to watching the Mighty Duck movies,
Yeah.
like to purposely
act
get
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Play hurt.
yeah.
Well, that also sounds like, no offense, Alexa, but soccer.
It is what
Flopping.
it is.
Flopping and
There is so much flopping.
Basketball.
Well,
Oh,
not
yes,
so
that
much.
shit in basketball when you go up and
Yeah.
like before you even hit
Well,
the ground,
exactly.
you're doing that.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, but not so much in the women's game for soccer,
No,
but in the
no.
men's game,
definitely.
it's a joke. It's
Yeah.
laughable, and I mean, I can't
Well,
take the NFL
what's his
seriously.
face? I saw an article about.
There's a lot of faces.
No, I can't remember what his name is, but I saw an article about some big soccer player made the absolute worst dive fake injury yesterday, and I didn't mark it down as something we should talk about because it didn't strike me as anything that we'd get into. But of course, here we are,
Of course.
and so now I don't know any. Of
But
the
you know, it
details.
just comes down to the play the game.
Yeah.
You know, just go out there and play the game. I don't
Exactly.
know why people were trying to get one step ahead. If you don't have
By
the
being
talent, you're cheating. You're being cheap and you're cheating. Like, if
Yeah.
you don't have the talent to compete with somebody, you don't belong on the field, court, whatever.
Yeah.
Play the game for what it is and take what you get.
Yeah.
There's so much cheating and dishonesty in sports. It's just gross.
All
Grow
right.
up.
Moving on to the last bit before the next break, Leslie Frazier.
Well, I guess we'll move on to somebody who is playing the game, but he's playing it like an idiot. Leslie Frazier, the coach of the Vikings, for some reason on the Monday Night Football game against the Giants, decided to have Josh Freeman, a quarterback who was fired from his previous quarterback position and hadn't played in over a month,
And who hadn't played with Minnesota for
hadn't even played an actual game with Minnesota before. He decided to have Freeman throw the ball 53 times when you have Adrian Peterson standing behind him.
Mind you, Adrian Peterson has hamstring issues at the moment, but when you have a guy who's like Adrian Peterson, what he's capable of,
Yeah.
regardless of being hurt,
Adrian
give him
Peterson at
the
80%.
ball. He's your franchise player.
Yes.
He's the reason why you have any chance of winning a game, let's be
got it.
honest, and then you give a
Adrian
guy...
Peterson deserves to have the ball 95% of every game he steps into.
Unless-
because he's a playmaker.
He is a
He's the
playmaker.
one that's winning games.
And unless you show us a quarterback who can handle, who can compete with throwing the ball 20
Yes.
times, let alone 50,
Yeah.
give the ball to Peterson.
Peterson only touched the ball 13 times.
I benched him for a reason.
Would you like to know why the Vikings lost against the Giants? Because Peterson only touched the ball 13 times. Peterson at 80% is at least 10% better than most running backs in the league.
Yeah, and Freeman probably had one of the worst games I think anybody has ever seen a quarterback have.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And it's like, who?
And the sad part is the Giants had a terrible game too.
But what about Christian Ponder sitting on the bench?
Yeah.
Is he not? You have a guy
Yeah.
like Freeman who comes in out of nowhere, hasn't been with you,
Ever.
a week?
Yeah.
And you start him
Over Christian Ponder.
over
who
Christian
knows your
Ponder,
system.
who's been there.
Christian Ponder's not a great
Of
quarterback.
course he's not.
But
he's not
he could
terrible.
make some passes.
I mean, unless they figured that it's against the Giants, it's no big deal.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, it
that
could
might
have been
be too.
that.
I mean, no,
because
seriously, think about it. It's like, okay, we're playing the Giants. Look
Yeah.
at their record.
That's
Look
what
at
I
how
thought
they're
about
playing.
Pittsburgh and
Let's
Minnesota.
put this guy in and see what he can do.
Oh, look what happened.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take one more break, and when we come back, actually, that's all for the for
when,
the news
when we
stuff.
come back, it's award time.
When we come back, it's award time. Richard comes out.
We like the awards.
Feel good. Do we have the fan awards at all? Any
No, actually, because we do not have a number one fan award this week, but we are presenting the Little Dickie
We
award.
do have a Little Dickie.
We have a
award.
Little Dickie.
We're gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah, we probably will.
Anyway, all that when we come back. Hey, sports fans, I'm Aaron.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Alexa, and this is KOS Sports Talk with the Brat Pak.
Check us out Tuesdays and Friday nights at 6:30 p.m. Las Vegas.
You can also check us out on Facebook, KOS Sports Talk, and on Twitter at KOS Sports Talk. We'd love to hear from you.
Anyway, guys, welcome back. Right into the awards, and I'm going to assume that's going to be you.
You have.
You want to start with the Little Dickie?
Little Dickie.
Then we'll go up with the
Yes.
Feel Good, and then we'll bring
come
it
back
way
down.
down.
So a little bit of
with
rain, a
the
little bit of
Richard.
sunshine, then a fucking tornado.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Little
Okay,
Dickie.
so the Little Richard Award today is going to a bunch of
You
idiots.
said it wrong.
Little Dickie.
Oh,
Get
the
it
Little
right.
Dickie. Fine. The Little Dickie Award today is going to a pack of idiots, which we collectively call our government, because it has been
I don't have a
released
government.
or leaked, or I'm not exactly sure how the information came out, but it has been reported that the U.S. government, while rebuilding Iraq, was paying $640 a piece for toilet seats, $500 a gallon for diesel, and they spent $220,000 on a thermostat that Lowe's sells for $10,000.
Now, clarify. That's per toilet
Yes.
Are you?
seat.
And are you sure? You sure you read that correctly?
Yes, I read it 4 times
I mean,
to make sure.
I have a problem paying $350 for a car payment.
Yeah.
Let alone paying $640 for a toilet seat. And unless it's automatically heated, cooled, like massages your butt or something and helps you wipe.
iPod plug-in.
I mean, unless it,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
asinine.
That's
and-
absolutely asinine.
I can't.
And
kind
now
of
they
fathom
try
that.
and they wonder why they can't balance the budget.
And we're
I-
cut,
no,
and
here-
we're
here-
cutting
this is-
important programs.
This is what I get
Yeah.
confused with. How is there a budget when we're in the whole trillions? There
Oh, but
should
and
be
they
no
want to raise.
budget.
They want to
That's-
raise the debt ceiling.
Yes, I saw that.
I did actually see an interesting bit about that, but it's a very, very long discussion. So
Probably not a good idea to talk about
Off camera, then.
yeah,
So I got. Is that all on that one?
That's all I got for
I
that.
got the perfect one for the Little Dickie.
Okay.
The government. Don't be a pecker. You like that one?
Approved.
We'll keep that one.
I approve. Okay, so I've got the Feel Good Award.
You know what? You should have put that hat on
Yeah,
before you
I
started.
know. They've seen it. So this is our new Feel Good Award, and today it is going to an 8-year-old named Matthew Jacko, who's from Pittsburgh, and Matthew suffers from an inoperable brain tumor.
that
Okay.
sucks.
Yeah, he was playing.
Can you see it?
Yeah. he is a huge Pens fan, Pirates, Steelers. He's a huge Pittsburgh kid.
Steelers.
He was
Steelers.
playing baseball one day,
Steelers.
and wasn't. His parents noticed he wasn't running like he usually did. His words started to slur, so they took him to the hospital, and then
Found out about
found out about the tumor. Found out that it was inoperable. They don't know how much longer he has to live. I've never seen a more upbeat kid than that child. They were doing a video interview with him. His parents said he never questions it. He never asks about it. He does what the doctors want him to do. And I mean, when he talks, he's very slow to say the words. But he says laughter is the best thing on the whole wide world. And he has this bear or this monkey thing that he holds on to, and it makes him smile. And he said that he wanted every kid at the children's hospital to have one. So there's a link out there for a donation site. It's $20 for the monkey, and he wants to raise $5,000 so every kid at the hospital can have one. When we post the video, I'll put the link on there if you're interested in helping him out. The link will be there. But for a child to just accept it and to not even question and just be as positive as you can be, it makes us and our problems just seem like, what are we complaining about, Yeah. So,
I admire people like that.
I my heart just kind of swells for people like that. I mean, it's just, you guys are inspiring,
Well.
And it definitely makes you rethink your priorities. So, Feel Good Award goes to Matthew Jacko. Oh.
Unfortunately, there's not enough of people like him in this world.
No, you know what?
Of course not.
Unfortunately, what goes up must come down. So I gotta kind of prepare myself for this because, oh God, I'm gonna need it. I turn it over to you because what goes up must come down.
Well,
so please.
Of course, what goes up must come down.
You ever gonna say that and not fuck it up?
Probably not.
Well, we thought the same of your introduction. And
I
you got it
today.
right today.
I
so.
nailed it.
I'll get it right one of these times. I'm not
So-
too worried about it.
Today's Richard Award, which now has a fancy new base and shiny logo and all this stuff, and will soon have a nameplate.
You're gonna knock it over.
It's pretty stable now. But
Okay.
I'm gonna tie a string to the back of it and just sit there like this.
today's award goes to Pastor Kevin Swanson,
Oh, great.
who on his show, His Generation's Radio, denounced the Girl Scouts, saying, quote, "They are a wicked organization whose vision of America is antithetical to a biblical vision of womanhood. I don't want to support lesbianism, I don't want to support Planned Parenthood, and I don't want to support abortion. And if that is the case, I'm not buying Girl Scout cookies." So apparently what he's saying is the Girl Scouts lead to lesbianism, Planned Parenthood, and abortions.
So
Every Girl Scout I've ever met was generally a more upstanding type citizen.
So every Girl Scout is a broke, pregnant dyke.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's saying.
I've never met one.
Never met one.
Can't say
Never
that I
met
have.
one. Like this. What,
I mean,
you were
most
in,
of them are
I
broke,
was in girls' school. There,
you were in Girl
Everyone's
Scouts.
broke.
What was your thing? Was it 2 or was it like this?
on my honor, I will try to serve God. No, I remember the Girl Scout law. I can recite it, but
Please don't.
I was in Girl Scouts for like 5 or 6 years, and
Kind of want cookies now.
never
Me
once.
too.
I don't understand on what grounds they have to say those kinds of things. I mean, like, we learned how to make things, we learned how to cook, we learned how to be independent, we learned all kinds of things, but none
This-
of that, this promiscuous sex thing, none of that.
Here's my theory.
I don't
Here's
understand.
here's my theory on why people like him say that, and we see it more when it's the religious type that say that.
Of course.
They've been predicting for how long now that the world was going to end, and every time they get proved wrong. When December 2012 came around, and I woke up the next morning only to find out that I was stuck on this earth
With its morons.
with the morons and all these
Yay.
assholes we have to deal with.
People who get the
People-
award.
People like him conjugate these the dumbest
Delusions.
ideas just to cause shit.
Okay, but my problem is that with really religious people is that they have this idea, this just irrelevant idea of what a woman should be. This is 2013. If you have a problem with a strong, independent woman, piss off.
There's a strong, independent woman.
I
I've
saw
got a
this.
problem
I saw
with
this thing on Facebook, and it actually pertains to what you just said. and actually Jackie posted it, and I think she posted it because I told her when we got married I wanted the love, honor, and obey in there, and she quickly replied with "fuck off." So, but she posted this thing that said, men live by that, most, the old school men, they live by that saying that, they want their woman to be the taken care of, the cooking, the whatever.
And you have to
And
obey.
it said that God said that those type of women are at every corner of the earth. And then he made it round and laughed his ass off.
Like I said, I mean, we all have our own beliefs, but this whole, the men stand in front of the woman thing, and wherever this is coming from, women are not like they were 100 years ago, and it's a good thing.
Well,
but
to be fair, women are the same as they were 100 years ago. It's just
they have a
they're
voice.
not oppressed now.
No, they have a voice, and boy, do we know how to use it.
No, you know how to use it. You're welcome.
Yes, you do.
I
Very
take
good
I
for
take
you.
pride.
No shame.
I take pride.
No, I want somebody to tell me what I can and can't do.
I do it all the time.
You don't
You can't
count.
wear that umbrella hat.
Don't make me knock that shit off your head.
Something.
Here, I'm going to comment one more further on this because
The Richard Award?
The misconception with people like him, they're constantly bashing women because, they get pregnant, they sleep around. Do you realize if dudes had vaginas, we'd be pregnant 24/7?
Agreed.
I mean, this is going to go on a completely different topic, but why are you targeting young girls? I mean,
yeah.
Girl Scouts, it builds teamwork.
Character.
It builds
camaraderie.
Independence.
It's what women do. It's an innate thing that we have that, we come together with other women because that's just how we function. We learn how to do everything together. Unlike men, you guys are very independent. But I mean,
Girl Scouts produced Nancy Reagan. Non-Girl Scouts
Barbara Bush.
produced Snooki.
thank you. Okay?
On that note, because we're a little over time on this one, what's his name again?
Kevin Swanson.
Kevin Swanson.
Pastor Kevin Swanson, please stop preaching. Don't be a dick.
That wraps up KOS Sports Talk with the Brat Pack for Friday. We
Yes.
got that one wrong last time. Tune in this upcoming Tuesday for our next show. You can check us out at facebook.com/KOS Sports Talk, Twitter at KOS Sports Talk. Email us. Get us on
Tweet
Facebook.
us.
Let us
Let us
know
know.
what you want to hear from. We're more than happy to cover other topics. Also,
We'll take the criticism.
for anybody who follows Mead Avenue, the band Seth and I are in, we have a Halloween show coming up on Halloween at Bar 702. Nevermore Productions put that on. We'd like to thank them. So come on down, wear your costume. There's a costume contest, beer, all that shit. So 10 o'clock, come on down for that. But that wraps it up. Have a good night.